Let's catch up on the Boston Celtics, preview this weekend's game versus the Boston. Yeah, just brace for Spurs fans.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey, welcome back to Locked On Spurs here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's Pipe San Antonio. Also, make sure to subscribe to the Locked On Spurs newsletter. It's in the description below. Just click on that link. I make it very easy for you guys. It says LO Spurs newsletter, and then there's a link. Click on that, sign up. It is completely free. Don't forget to sign up as well to subscribe to Locked On Spurs over at the Ken's Pipe Plus app, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. I mean, seriously, pick a platform. We are there. As you can tell from the background, we're having another crossover episode. That's right, Locked On Celtics. John Karalis, he's going to be joining us in just a few minutes. We're going to be previewing this weekend's game, Spurs Celtics. Tomorrow. What's going on with Derrick White? Yeah, I know a lot of Spurs fans miss him. He's still a fan favorite here in San Antonio, even though he's wearing the white and green now. Also, we're going to get you caught up on what should we expect on the game out there in San Antonio. Yeah, I know. It's a rough time, isn't it, Spurs fans? Maybe, just maybe, the Spurs can pull off an upset. I guess, yeah, it would be an upset. Yeah, Boston's not that bad. We're into all that and more. And then to end this show, we're going to have Spurs Merch of the Month. This is going to bring in our guest on this crossover episode. He is back, everybody. John Karalis, Locked On Celtics, who told me I'm not worth over $1,000 to come visit, apparently.
Yeah, yep. There's a set price on what it costs to hang out with Jeff Garcia, and I just could not meet it.
I told you before, I don't blame you, man. I mean, tonight or tomorrow's game might be just a laugher. John, sometimes I don't even know, like, how much more can I talk about Stephon Castle and develop?
Tough, but like, look, you got some young talent, and it's just about developing. You've got your centerpiece, literally centerpiece for the future, and
got two now.
And De'Aaron Fox is a great, but you even have the luxury of, if for some reason it doesn't work out with De'Aaron Fox, you still have time to pivot. Like this is such a great kind of pivot time. You're going to get a high pick in the draft. Yeah. I understand in the moment it's tough.
Yeah.
But I think the Spurs are very well positioned and uniquely positioned because their superstar is on a rookie contract. So you have a lot of time. You're not even subject to a lot of the same things like the Celtics are with the second apron. So I get it. It's a tough season.
It's wrong. Well, it's tough seasons. This is going to be 6 seasons in a row now. Oh,
there's hope.
Not even a play-in.
There's hope. It's like the end of Rogue One. What have they delivered to us? Hope.
Exactly.
Like hope, that's what you got with Wemby. Like that's it. And now you're off to, I think it's gonna be good. Like I expect the Spurs to be great in very short order.
Hey everybody, check it out. Make sure to follow John subscribe to Locked On Celtics as well, wherever you get your favorite podcast. And we have a newsletter for Locked On Celtics as well. You see on your screen there, it says LockedOnDaily.com. You want to go there and subscribe, not just to Locked On Spurs and Celtics, but the rest of the crew. Get their newsletters as well. And follow Locked On Celtics because Spurs Celtics tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to cover this weekend's game. But before we get into meat and potatoes, X's and O's and everything, you're a Celtics, man. Second, as of right now, second in the East. A friend of mine, Cleveland. How you guys doing it again? Even without Tatum for a few games, you're 9-1 in the last 10. You guys are rolling right now.
They are on a heater. They are like, if this was a pace at the beginning of the season, people would be like, oh, this might be a 70-win team. Look, I think the beginning of the year, there was like, they started out not playing much defense, but they were shooting the hell out of the ball, and that they got off to a hot start. December, January, things kind of cooled off because they started getting cold. They weren't able to shoot their way through. They weren't defending the way they needed to. Kristaps Porzingis came back from his ankle surgery in the middle of December, kind of threw things off. He needed to get himself back acclimated. And so they had an almost 500 stretch through December and January. It was like win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win two, lose one. And so they could never get it going. then February hits, and now they're on a big time run. I think like 19-3 over February and March. So it's all coming together for them right now, and they're not playing the full complement of guys all the time either. The bench guys are getting a lot of minutes. They're getting good contributions from Peyton Pritchard, who's probably going to be the sixth man of the year. They're getting good contributions across the board. They can sit a couple of their players and still have, like, if Jason Tatum sits again with the ankle, which I don't know, it's up in the air. He might not.
Right.
If he does, you still have Derrick White. You still have, Holiday and Brown and Porzingis and Horford. So they're putting it all together at the right time. They're hitting their shots. They're starting to really, really defend well. And when the Celtics are defending at their peak, that's what makes them a potential champion.
Yeah, and I guess just that Suns a couple of days ago, that first quarter, did they not want to miss the 3-shot? Seriously, like everything went down. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, and we're going to do this more later, and when we look at Spurs Celtics, but yeah, when it goes to defending the 3, some of the Spurs are not that good at it. But more on that in a bit. But you look at the Celtics team, second in the East right now. Any worry about the Cavs? The Cavs are number 1. Are we sold on the Cavs as a legit threat in the East to you guys?
I don't think the Cavs. So the Cavs are having a great season, and they are obviously tougher. They match up sort of well with the Celtics in that they can be double big to defend the Celtics.
Yeah, they're a big
also they're but they also have the weaknesses in Darius Garland. Size with that Donovan Mitchell. I don't think Evan Mobley is very good on the perimeter when he's forced to come out and defend wings. I don't think he's as good. Like when he can sit back, he's great, and he's a defensive player of the year candidate because of that. But the Celtics, can put him on skates. Like Jason Tatum calling for a pick and roll to take on Evan Mobley is not out of the question. I know the Cavs will say, we have Evan Mobley. He can guard Jason Tatum. And I'm telling you, he cannot guard Jason Tatum because Tatum can get by him off the dribble, and that's going to force help. And the Celtics just decimate when you have to send 2 to Tatum. He has taken such a leap this year in quick decision-making, distributing, that the Cavs, as great as they are, and they've beaten the Celtics twice, but they needed a perfect 20-point fourth quarter from Donovan Mitchell to get one of those. And the Celtics completely collapsed in the fourth quarter. I think if the Celtics had played just normal basketball in either of those 2 fourth quarters, they would have won all 4 games. And so I'm not going to sit here and be completely dismissive of the Cavs. I just think the Celtics have matchup advantages. Right. And I think that's a series the Celtics can win in, like, I'm going to say 6.
Right.
But it might not even be 6.
Right. Yeah. The Celtics team, it always feels like they get slept on. It's, look at the Cavs, look what they're doing. And look at the Pistons, they're resurging, good Pistons. And then there's Boston. Do you feel that respect has not been given to the Celtics despite them being the reigning champs?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Celtics, for lack of a better, the Celtics are boring, right? There's nothing interesting.
Fans know about that when they're winning,
right? That's 100%. I remember when we talked about this. Like this really is a 2025 version of the Spurs, which is, by the way, exactly what Brad Stevens has wanted to build. He has the highest respect for what the Spurs, were in their heyday. He wanted to recreate that, and he kind of has in that. They have Jason Tatum and Tim Duncan are not the same person, right? Yeah. But they are both, like, generally quiet. Tatum does a ton of commercials, and I know Tim Duncan didn't. But Tatum is a quiet guy. He doesn't show up in the headlines. He doesn't talk crap to anybody. He is just a great basketball player. He's got 2 kids. He's a great dad. He loves his mom. He's like everything that you would want a player to be, except he's not Anthony Edwards, right? He's not out there just being brash and out, and that's fine. But the Celtics, like, Jaylen Brown is the most outspoken guy on the team, And all he's doing is like trying to change society, right? So that's where he is. And so Al Horford, quiet, professional.
Yep.
Drew Holiday, quiet, professional. Everybody's like a bunch of good citizens who are really good basketball players who play solid, fundamental basketball that play for each other. It's not flashy. You're not getting a million crazy highlights. You're getting some, but you're not getting like the crazy, posters all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a very kind of methodical. They shoot a bunch of threes, and I know people don't like the threes kind of that much sometimes. And yeah, is there a lack of respect? Like I guess I think there's just a lack of reverence. They're not being treated as the Curry Warriors are, like, oh wow, look at this all-time team, or the Miami Heat with LeBron and those. The people don't look at them and be like, oh my God, look at this crazy juggernaut. But here they are on their way to another 60-win season. And so, whatever. It's if they win another championship, maybe that changes their people's minds. And if it doesn't, great, because it just gives them more fuel to be like, oh, you still don't believe?
Yeah.
All right, I guess we'll have to try to win 3. So.
Well, if it's any consolation, the Spurs dynasty wasn't revered till after it was over. Then it was,
That's true.
Well, look at the big 3. We'll never have this again.
That happens. Like we the saying, genius isn't appreciated in its time.
Yeah.
Like that happens across the board in society. People like the shiny object. You don't really recognize greatness, and that is true across. I'm not just saying this because of the Celtics. The Celtics are a great team, and they may win 2, they may win 3, they may only win 1. Like I acknowledge, like there's no guarantee that they're going to win a championship. I think they should, and they're the favorites, but there's no guarantee. And even the Spurs, they didn't win them back to back. They won, lost, won, lost. Won, you know what I mean? So it could go that way too for Boston. Mm-hmm. It's the sustained greatness. People are always looking to chop down who's on top and elevate. It's like that concept of building them up to break them down, right? People are building up the Spurs now, right? Wembanyama is so, wow, what a freak, what a unicorn. Look at what they're doing. And it's reverence for the rebuild. Then they're going to get onto the top and people are going to cut them down again. That's how it goes. The reverence for the Celtics will be like, wow, look at this rebuild after they trade away whomever they trade away. That's how it's going to go. So you can't get caught up in who's giving what kind of respect. All you can have is the team. Is the team playing well? Does the team respect each other? Does the team respect the game? Great. Then forget the outside noise.
Exactly. He is John Karalis of Locked On Celtics right here on this crossover episode with Locked On Spurs and myself. When we get back, we're going to still talk about the green and white. How's Derrick White been for those guys? Yeah, I think he's been pretty good.
He's okay.
Pretty good. Yeah, he's just okay. Yeah, but we're going to get into that and then preview tomorrow's game, I should say. Spurs, Celtics, then it gives us some fan merch, all that coming up right here on Locked On Spurs. But first, I want to talk to you about FanDuel.
March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. Pick my favorites. You got an eye on a few underdogs this year. FanDuel makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. Easy and fast. FanDuel app is simple to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around. Staying in the action from the tournament games happening almost every day. There's always something exciting to bet on. So visit FanDuel.com right now and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long.
The Jedi uses the Force. To subscribe to Locked On Spurs, pass on what you have learned.
And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs and Locked On Celtics, this crossover edition. And we are discussing the Celtics, Spurs, tomorrow's game at the Frost, and so much more. But got to talk to you about Derrick White, John. Pretty good trade, I think, for everybody. It worked.
Smile on my face.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yes.
I want to say that Derrick White is the best basketball player on the team.
Yeah.
In that he just does so much fun. Like Tatum is just gifted, and he's worked incredibly hard to foster those skills and gifts. But Derrick White is so fundamentally great, makes the right decisions. And now that he's shooting with the kind of confidence, like no one expected him to be this kind of shooter. He is, if he hits 4 3-pointers on Saturday, he will tie the record for most 3-pointers in Celtics history in the season.
Wow.
And so there's a 3-player race between him, Peyton Pritchard, and Jason Tatum. They're all going to break the record. But it's just a matter of who crosses the finish line first. And Derrick White now leads. And it's funny. Isaiah Thomas holds the record, and he did it on March 29th. And so March 29th, with Derrick White going back to the Spurs and a chance to tie or break the record, it just makes too much sense. It's just, it has to happen.
Yeah. It has to happen. Yeah. It like it is going to happen. Right. Yeah.
But can any Spurs fan listening or watching have imagined that Derrick White was going to break a team record for 3-point shooting? Like,
no,
like that wasn't his thing.
Him when he was in San Antonio. Yeah. That was like, can he be consistent from the field? Can he be consistent from the 3-shot line?
And he has his lulls.
Yeah. He was good. He was okay. He wasn't like, when he was a Spur and he took a 3, I wasn't like, oh my God, Derrick, why? I was like, I'm struggling, but now to see that it's almost more on the likely to happen than not happen, that's pretty good for his development.
Yeah, I think that the confidence that he has gained, especially since Joe Mazzulla took over, like he flat out says, like, I love Joe Mazzulla because of the confidence that he has instilled in Derrick White. The Celtics essentially, like, they traded Marcus Smart to get Kristaps Porzingis. They were willing to do that because of Derrick White. And because Joe Mazzulla said, Derrick White is my starting point guard. He can be my starting point guard. And you remember the year before that trade, Derrick was sitting out fourth quarters for the Celtics. And we were sitting like, why is Derrick sitting fourth quarters? And because Marcus was here and had earned that right, like that was like a dynamic, but it was a tough dynamic to maintain. And we know Joe Mazzulla's emphasis on shooting. We know the confidence that he's instilled in Derrick White. And that has now taken off. Since Derrick has taken over the starting role, he has been, I can't even begin to tell you how great he is. The best player that isn't an all-star in the league because of everything that he does. I trust the Derrick White floater as much as if you said, gun to my head, we're going to pull the trigger if he misses this floater. I'm like, go ahead, take the floater. I'm going to plan my lunch date. You know what I mean? Like he's never missing those. He defends insanely well. He's always in position. He communicates. He hustles. He's great. I love him. I love him to the point where I think the 3 most important players to keep moving forward, it's Jason Tatum, Derrick White, and then you can argue between, like, I'd say Jaylen Brown, but you could even make an argument for Kristaps. If Kristaps Porzingis wasn't so injury prone, I'd say him, because of the matchup issues. But Derrick White is like, no matter what they need to do to get underneath the second apron, under no circumstances do you trade Derrick White. He's that important to the Celtics.
Yeah, he's like that. I mean, I guess super glue guy, for the recruiting, not just the glue guy, just super glue, that one next level up when you're at the store and say, Mom, can I get the glue? No, I want super glue. He is who he is. Yeah.
But I could take this podcast to an hour just talking about Derrick White.
Oh yeah. I mean, when he was a Spur, one of my favorite guys to talk to,
definitely now.
And this is ability to take those charges, like the way he positions himself to boom. All right, charge, moving on.
You know what's so funny? He doesn't take those anymore.
What?
He doesn't take charges anymore. Go look at his numbers.
Really?
He and you're right. His first season, the Celtics were taking it. It was him, Marcus Smart, Blake Griffin, a bunch of charge takers. The Celtics as a team, they take some, everybody takes some, but he does not take nearly as many. He's taking like 30% of the charges that he used to take. He's blocking shots now. He's going up for blocks. They have de-emphasized the charge. They're contesting at the rim, and it's working for them. But yeah, I agree with you, but he's just not doing it anymore.
Interesting. That is true. Before we get into tomorrow's game real fast, one of the better memories I have with Derrick White is the last time the Spurs were in the play-in. Derrick White was a Spur. and it was against a up-and-coming Denver team. You know, they were right there. They were becoming that powerhouse. And he had this. You should everybody go check it out on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and put in Derrick White dunk Denver Nuggets. Your mouth will just drop. That was his coming out party. He just had an amazing series. I think it was a play-in series, yeah, and just destroyed Denver. Got them one win. Hey, there's that. Remember those days, Spurs fans? All right. Once again, we're here with John Karalis of Locked On Celtics. We're here doing a crossover episode with myself here at Locked On Spurs. And we're going to just get a look ahead at tomorrow's game, Spurs Celtics in San Antonio. As John mentioned, it is Derrick White's return to San Antonio. He'll likely get a very, very warm welcome to San Antonio. And you mentioned Porzingis. I always say Porzingis was Wemby before Wemby. Like, that was going to be Wemby had he not got just smoked with all those injuries in his New York days. But Wemby has mentioned about Porzingis saying, like, yeah, he goes like that. Yeah, pretty much that was me, that was me, before I arrived, Porzingis was going to be that unicorn. Hey, they called him the unicorn, Porzingis. Now they call it the alien in San Antonio. But unfortunately, we're not going to see that matchup because no Fox, no Wemby. They're out for the season with injuries, leaving a very, very small Spurs team. John, you guys should. I mean, well, first of all, is Tatum going to be playing tomorrow? I know you don't have the injury report right now, but 2 days off, didn't play against Phoenix. Maybe.
I want him to sit just because it's not doing better than anybody.
Just say it. It's the Spurs. Just say it.
It is the Spurs, man. It's the Spurs without Wemby and without De'Aaron Fox, man. Like, you don't need him. He just sprained his ankle, earlier in the week. But as bad as it looked, and it looked bad.
It did.
He went through his pregame shoot around before the Suns and looked okay. He went through the pregame workouts, right before the game, and he was actually a game time decision, and they ruled him out, which I think was smart. But he wants to play so bad, and his argument is that there are Celtics fans everywhere. And this is our only trip to San Antonio. And if somebody paid to see me and I can play, I'm going to play.
Yeah.
So I think he should sit, but I think he's going to play just because of what I know about him. And the 2 days off, I think he's going to give it a shot.
You hear that, Spurs fans? So Boston's coming in rested for 2 days. Mikey will have Tatum back and a depleted Spurs roster with no mega stars on the roster. Should be a very fun night. But look, I look at, the Spurs, and I guess for their standards, they've been playing better of late. Not great, but look, I mean, you lose Wemby, you lose De'Aaron Fox, and what do you expect? You're like going to pick up more L's than W's. But Devin Vassell, I mean, if you guys are watching on the other side, or you Celtics fans here, well, keep an eye on Devin Vassell. I think he scored in double figures in the last 14 games and 20 or more in the last 3 heading into tomorrow's game versus Boston. So he's been on a heater, not just offensively, but defensively. He was challenged by the coaching staff and the team just in general, like to up your defense, Devin. And he's been really taking advantage of those minutes that freed up to be the guy right now because of no Fox, no Wemby. And he's really been embracing it. So he might be a thorn on the Boston side. But I just look at the Spurs team, John, and they're a small team. Their biggest dude out there is Biyombo, and if you guys trot out Horford and Porzingis, and it might be a long night for the Spurs, John.
Probably. Look, if this was December, I'd say the Spurs probably had a chance because the Celtics were playing kind of like up and down basketball. I think the Celtics are kind of on a mission right now. They are ramping up for the playoffs. They have the best road record in the NBA. They're not bothered by being somewhere else. They have a couple of days off. So you will have Al Horford. You will have Kristaps Porzingis. They can throw size. The Celtics will go double big this whole game probably. Except for maybe at the start. Maybe they'll just start their normal group. Or maybe they give Drew Holiday a day off and say, hey, Derrick White's the starting point guard. We'll go double big. Drew can take the day and whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that comes up. But the size, but we saw it against the Suns. They will find switches against the smaller players.
Another thing I'm going to be watching out for is young Stephon Castle. Likely he's going to be the rookie of the year. Exciting guy, very dynamic, good two-way guy, nice rookie. I mean, silver linings here, Spurs fans and Celtics fans. I mean, Spurs fans have been going through it the whole season, so this is like the big silver lining, is the promising career of Castle.
Sure,
he's tenacious, man. He's tenacious. He don't back down. He'll attack the rim. He could be a thorn on the Celtics side tomorrow night in San Antonio. So keep an eye on him. But I'd love to see Derrick White on Castle. Or vice versa. Just them.
That would be fun
matchup. I think that'll be a really, really good matchup because Derrick White's a big guard, man. He's huge. And Castle's, even though he's just 20 years old, he's pretty big for a rookie. When I first saw him in person, I was like, man, are you sure you're 19, 20 years old? You're solid. He's a really, really good.
He's got an NBA body.
6'6",
like 220, man. He's a big dude.
He's a big dude, man. I'm going to be looking at the 3-point line tomorrow night because Celtics like to make a lot of threes, as the Phoenix Suns, and also the Spurs don't defend the 3 line as well as the Charlotte Hornets. I don't know if you saw this, the last game between the Hornets and Spurs in San Antonio. Franchise record for the Hornets, 26 threes. 26 threes made. I'm not kidding.
The Celtics have been knocking on the door of an NBA record for 3-pointers made. They've come close a number of times. Maybe this is the game when they actually do it.
What did they get?
They've gotten to 28. I think the record's 29, right? And they've gotten to 28.
Yeah.
It was early in the season they got to 28, and then they just missed. They started forcing it, and they missed like 8 in a row. And we're all getting ready to write our story. Celtics break the record, and they just couldn't make it.
No.
But they hit 10 3-pointers in the first quarter against Phoenix. So they're capable of getting super hot. So even if they don't hit a record, I can see them hitting in the mid-20s even.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah. What would make that Charlotte game just frustrating, because heading into that matchup, the Hornets were the worst 3-point shooting team in the league. And the freaking Spurs allowed them to get 26 threes made. 26. I mean,
that's going to be tough, man. With Tatum's driving and Jaylen Brown's driving, like the Spurs defense is just going to be so occupied with the paint that.
What do you expect? You don't have. It's the fox swipe. They call him Swipe of the Fox for a reason. That pest on the perimeter. You don't have Wemby manning the paint, or at least the rim. So
that's right. With Wembanyama out there, they were actually a competent defensive team. Maybe even, I don't want to say good defensive team, but they were competent. And he blocked shots from anywhere. He's 5 feet behind you. He's going to block your shot. So, look, man, it's not going to. The Celtics could mess around, but that's what it's going to take for this to not go. Like, what should happen is Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all those guys play 25 minutes. Put up a 35-point lead and just chill. And then you get a heavy dose of Baylor Shireman and JD Davison, and those guys are,
you guys are definitely poised to win the title. Defend it. I just see Cleveland and New York. I don't know. Maybe, I guess, depends on Brunson. Detroit.
Let's eat up that matchup.
Yes, they said Detroit's still too young. Miami, really scared about Miami?
No.
So exactly,
the answer is no.
Yeah,
the only team that has a true claim to challenge the Celtics, truly challenge the Celtics, is the Thunder. The Thunder have a great mix of guys. They don't have the same weaknesses that other teams do. Like I said, no disrespect to the Cavaliers. They have had a great regular season. It's just matchup wise, it doesn't work against the Celtics.
Yeah.
The Celtics should win that series. OKC has the horses. If the Celtics have Porzingis and it's a Celtics OKC finals, Porzingis is the key.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have Porzingis, it's super tight. So that's the matchup that I'm worried about the most. But look, and I don't want to make it sound like arrogance, because people love to say, boy, this guy's really arrogant about the team. Like, no, this is just the fact of the matter. The Celtics are constructed as such. They have advantages in a lot of places. They are a 60-win team. They've proven themselves. They've even struggled over the course of the middle of the season, and they're still going to be a 60-win team.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they are healthy, just with any team, you see it in San Antonio. If you're not healthy, you can struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And that applies to everybody. So if there's an issue with health-wise with the Celtics, they can struggle. But
yeah,
if they are healthy,
yeah,
tough to match up.
Tough to match up. Yeah, and that's the big silver lining. This, even though it's another busted season, no playoffs for 6-7 years now in a row. But again, you're starting to see the big light at the end of the tunnel here. Obviously, Wemby helps in that, so yay. But then you get in Castle, who's just pretty much an eye-opening rookie.
That makes the season worth it, man. That to me makes the season worth it for you guys. If Castle gets the minutes and emerges, and rookie of the year, and you're like, oh wow, gives him a ton of confidence, and he's a guy that develops in a way that you're like, wow, this is actually a piece that is here for the future, then great. You now have this season to me is a success for the Spurs because you've discovered a key piece towards your rotation moving forward.
Yeah.
That to me is like, that's how you got to look at success in San Antonio.
And also another big success is they're likely going to have multiple first rounders in the draft. Multiple.
You're in a great spot.
Yeah. Yep.
You're in a great spot.
Again, it's just in the moment, it sucks. It's just in the moment, it's so Spurs fans been watching. You cannot blame me for feeling this way right now because it's been rough. It's you go from beating the Knicks in San Antonio easily, and then you go to getting thumped in Detroit, by a wide margin. It wasn't even funny. You go from letting the Hornets connect on 26 threes, but then for some reason you guys go beat Denver or something like that, so it's just been like, like there's just a lot more lulls than highs this season. And again,
it's tough to get through.
It's tough to get through, but again, next season should be great. Wemby 100%, Fox 100%, Castle sophomore season. Who knows what they'll do in the draft? Do they move up? Do they trade down? Do they flip? But it's just getting through these last few games, John. It's just 10, 11 games, and it just feels like it. We're getting more excited for the offseason, really, the draft lottery and the draft. And
it's going to be a very busy June, July for you guys.
Yeah. But, well, good luck to your Celtics, though.
Good
luck to your Celtics. Yeah.
Thank you.
Not tomorrow, because but it's just. But the Spurs fans, I'm kidding. All right. I'm not. I'm the take it. I'm wearing a Spurs cap. See, I'm still showing the Spurs side here. It's just y'all know what it's like when the Spurs take on a upper crust team like the Celtics, and likely or not, like you get beat up. And John, during the last break, somebody passed a note to me saying that I'm not worth a few bucks to come visit. So, but
reminder.
Yeah, just a
reminder.
I
gotta save this money for the all the travel I'm gonna be doing through June. So
I hope he gets to experience all that and get back to back like that. The finals run and deep playoff run for you guys.
It'd be great. It's been a very lucky time for me because I've now covered 2 NBA finals.
Yeah.
I've covered the finals against the Warriors and now Dallas, and so it'll be fun to continue to do that. It's been a very nice path for me.
My last finals coverage was the 2014 Spurs run, and I think the last moment I have, and I have it on video, and I don't think I've ever shared it with anybody, is me outside the Spurs locker room going in, and you can still hear them. So,
oh wow!
And then the first thing in the video, I rewatched it the other day. I turn around, I see a drunk Corey Joseph. And then to my left, I see the big three, Timmy, Manu, and Tony, posing for that iconic last shot where in the locker room, they're all held together. You see that happening as it's being taken.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so and it's all grainy because I wasn't expecting it, and clenched it, but it's just surreal. And by the way, that was like the same series where the AC went out, where LeCramp happened.
Oh.
Yeah, that was that one. So it's been a while, John.
my favorite moment from the last championship afterwards was it was like 5 a.m. or so. 4, like we were all still, the reporters were still working in the garden. I was just done with like everything, and we were hanging out on the floor. The stage was still on the floor, confetti everywhere. We're all hanging out. A basketball had come out and people were like shooting. And then Jaylen Brown walks in drunk, and he's just like kind of off. And like he's with a few of his friends, and somebody's carrying his finals MVP trophy. And Jaylen just walks in. He's like, "What a beautiful sight! What a beautiful sight!" And he's just like,
awesome, man.
And like I don't think he had shoes on for some reason, but he's out there. He's like with the ball, and there's confetti everywhere. And I'm like, please don't do anything because you're going to slip and fall, and you're going to tear your ACL. And I don't want to be the guy who has to break the news that Jaylen Brown got hurt in a post-game celebration.
Yeah.
But it was a fun moment. He didn't do anything. It was kind of fun to see drunk Jaylen coming in smiling. It's a beautiful sight. It's so funny.
He is John Karalis with Locked On Celtics. Make sure to subscribe to Locked On Celtics on YouTube, and seriously, wherever you can subscribe. I mean, pick a platform. Literally, John knows this. Go to YouTube, we're there. iTunes, we're there. Spotify, Locked On Spurs, everywhere. No excuse for you to not subscribe to Locked On Celtics and Locked On Spurs, wherever you get your favorite podcast. By the way, we both got newsletters. Yeah, do you know that? Yeah. Locked On Celtics newsletter, Locked On Spurs newsletter. Yeah, if you want to go subscribe, see that on your screen right there. If you're watching on YouTube, right there. Yeah, see where John's pointing? Right there. Look at that. He's giving it an assist to me right now. Go to that website, subscribe to Locked On Celtics newsletter, Spurs. I mean, just the whole squad. Just might as well just do it. You're there. Quick click, and guess what? It's free, completely free. You get it in your email inbox every single day. So, John, again, we appreciate you taking time to preview tomorrow's game against the Spurs. Oh my God, I'm ready. You know what?
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
You know what, Spurs? Up them lottery odds. Yeah. That's it. Them lottery odds up.
You win by losing.
Hopefully the Spurs will at least be competitive. It just shows a competitive front. Spurs and the Spurs fans will be fine. Hey, we're not done talking. Then when we get back, it is time for Merch of the Month. Yeah, we got a new line of new merchandise you can get at the Spurs Smash Shop or online. We're going to reveal those in just a few seconds.
What's up, guys? This is KG Tang, voice of Sanami Shinizugawa and Demon Slayer, and you're watching Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
All right, it's time for Merch of the Month right here on Locked On Spurs. For those of y'all who are not familiar with it, every month we feature a new items you can get, whether it be at the Spurs online shop or at the Frost Bank Center, the Fast Shops there, or even at the Victory Capital Performance Center. And we got a good one. Why? Because it's Fiesta time in San Antonio. We're right there, San Antonio. Again, for those of you who are not from San Antonio, don't know about this, basically, think of a week in the April where San Antonio just parties out. That's pretty much it. And it's very festive. Fiesta, get it? All right. Well, the Spurs are not letting that week go by without tipping their cap to Fiesta Week, where you can support the Spurs and the city's traditional week-long party with some new gear. Now we got, I guess, several things to show you. We have a cap, a Fiesta-themed cap. You'll see in just a bit. And then pins. So just before we continue, real fast, these pins, they're not the official Spurs Fiesta medals, okay, or Fiesta pins, okay? These are not it, but they are a celebration of San Antonio's week-long party. And why don't we get to it? Yeah, so again, this is the Spurs Merch of the Month right here on Locked On Spurs, and it is Fiesta-themed. So I just show you all in one shot, okay? It's all in one shot here. Let me get it ready here. There you go. It is a cap that you can get right now at the fan shop or the Frost Bank Center, the Victory Capital, or online at Spurs Fan Shop. Just Google that and go check it out right now. So what is this? So basically, this is a trucker cap. You can probably see the pins on it already. Again, these are Fiesta festivities, things you can do. So, for example, get the camera there closer for you guys. It's going to be tough to see. You can see the cap full of drinks there. It's like margaritas, just nice adult beverages that you can get there. So you got, I have a big green screen thing going on right now, but basically it's like a martini. It is like a Bloody Mary on this trucker style cap. There you go. You see the pins I'll be talking about in just a bit. It is adjustable. One size fits all. So there you go. And not bad. This is perfect for when you're on the Riverwalk or downtown or the parades or whatever. I know San Antonio or other events they have there. This would be good now to show your support for the San Antonio's party, Fiesta Week, also your love for the San Antonio Spurs. So that is the trucker cap. All right, so what else? Well, you pretty much saw right now. There's pins on here. See the pins there? Get it closer there for you. There's pins. There's some more pins there. This one, again, the green screen stuff. So forgive me, that's an avocado, everybody. But basically, these pins are also available. And again, celebrating the Spurs and Fiesta. So this is you'll find it here. This is if you can see that there, that is the Global Taco Spurs pin that you can get right now. Go get it. Yeah, these are pretty good novelty items you can have here. You also have again, this is supposed to be, again, it's a green avocado, but the green screen, all right? But that's what you got right there. You got a nice pin right there. You also have a chips and salsa pin. Put that a little closer there for you. Oop, glare. There you go. It's a little better there. See the taco pin there. Yeah, these are perfect. Whether you wear on your cap, if you get this cap or any cap, or just on your Fiesta gear that you're going to wear. So it's a little better there. Also, you got, let me see. Let's say there's that. Let me get a little closer to that avocado pin. Again, that's a green avocado pin. It's the green screen, everybody. But you get the idea. All right. So again, what a way to celebrate the Spurs and Fiesta Week with this cap. Again, the Spurs are going to be doing a lot of Fiesta festivity themes once Fiesta time, which is basically in a few days, starts kicking off here. So get ready for that. But what a way to be prepared for the upcoming events and with this cap and more. I'd like the cap, though. I really, really do. Again, one size fits all. It's a trucker cap. Then you don't have to put the pins on here, but you can. It's a pretty cool idea to do. You just wear them with your Fiesta medals if you do collect them. So a little bit more information about this. Again, this will help pretty much put together an Ex Fiesta outfit for you. Okay, so every pin that you saw on here, they go for $9.99. Okay, the hat is $39.99. Okay, so what a way to complement your Fiesta look than this. Look, usually it's going to get hot around this time of year in San Antonio, especially during Fiesta Week. So this hat will come in handy, block you from the sun, keep you cool because it's breathable. And again, those pins. I mean, look at those pins there. Let me show that taco pin there and the chips and salsa pin there. Look at that Spurs logo on there. You got the Spurs emblem on the chips and salsa. It's all good. It's all good. Again, available right now. You want to go to the Spurs fan shop at the Frost Bank Center or go online to fan shop online. Just go to the Spurs website, spurs.com. You should see it there and get it today. Yeah. So, by the way, those Spurs Fiesta medals will be coming out, so keep an eye on that. But these are not it. Again, these are a great items you can pick up right now and get ready for Fiesta Week. Not bad, huh? Not bad. Yeah. Maybe I might be giving some of these away at the next Spurs game I go to on my media row seat there. That looks like on the inside there. There's the cap right there. Pretty nifty cap just in time for Fiesta Week. All right, there you have it. It's Spurs merch of the month right now. Again, available right now. Get these items right now. Get the cap, get the pins. It's a green avocado pin, okay? But yeah, available right now. Go check it out. That is your Spurs merch of the month episode or segment here on Locked On Spurs. And as always, we thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Kenspy Plus app, YouTube. We'll be back next week to talk all things about the San Antonio Spurs as the season winds down. Just a few more games left and it's off-season time, but we'll get you good through it right here on Locked On Spurs. Subscribe, iTunes, Spotify, Kenspy Plus app, Locked On Spurs newsletter available right now. If you're on YouTube, send the link below. You can see it down there in the description. Click on that link and sign up today. Once again, Spurs merch of the month. There you have it. Check it out. Check it out. All right. So for John Karalis, who was our guest earlier, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.